I'm glad the candle's lit over there, TJ, because we're starting with the Cowboys again.
Again?
Well, you've got the most famous hold-in, and that's now even including with Trey Hendrickson holding in. And Terry McLaurin holding in. Those guys were holding out. Guess what now? They're holding in.
Well, they know the way now.
Well, guess who's been holding in the entire time? Micah Parsons.
Uno.
Stephen Jones speaking to 105.3 The Fan.
105.3 The Fan.
So is this in place of Jerry?
Oh.
I don't know.
Or in addition to.
In addition to? I don't know.
He's just getting ready to follow in Jerry's footsteps.
Because it's all we're all in Oxnard now. So
nonsensical
maybe
stuff.
I imagine the hosts at 105.3 The Fan in the Metroplex might even be here. I don't know.
You have to say it like that, too. 105.3
105.3 The Fan.
I don't think he's ever not said it like that, and I laugh every time.
I don't know. This comes out of nowhere. Like I say, things
Every
fly.
single time.
Things fly. I don't, just happens. So, here we are again, waiting to hear if the Cowboys are going to sign the guy that we all know they're going to sign. And the question is why haven't they signed him yet? Why are they making him go through holding in? Why are they making him stand there? Why are they making him, yada, yada, whenever he's in front of a microphone? Why are they making everybody else talk about it? CD, what do you think about Micah? Hey, Dak, what do you think about Micah? It's going to keep going on and on and on and on. It's not like, and there's got to be fatigue on the part of everybody, including the Joneses. And it's all, the finger gets pointed at the Joneses. Like this, you do this all the time. And then they, sometimes point out, we don't. We did it for Trayvon Diggs early, and then he got hurt. So it doesn't work out even when you do it sometimes early. So we now, once again, are still wondering about the Jones family penchant for signing people later than sooner, making it more expensive for them, making it more enriching for the player, but the player, it earns that enrichment by going through nonstop, 24/7, 365, questioning his own self-worth, questioning why the self-worth isn't matched by the team's desire to sign fast, to take him off of this griddle. Stephen Jones on the subject matter on 105.3 The Fan.
We don't drag deals out. We do deals when there's an opportunity to do a deal. And certainly no one knows what goes on internally with a particular negotiation. But, sometimes agents and players aren't ready to pull the trigger till they see other cards play. Mm-hmm. And what we're not going to do is go out and, do something that's not responsible in terms of, just in the name of getting a deal done 1 month earlier. Go do it and pay the guy another $5 million of your cap space.
Yeah.
And especially when you're dealing, in our particular case, internally with guys that are homegrown here, and we feel like they want to be here. I always felt like Dak wanted to be here. I always felt like CD wanted to be here.
And that's the truth. By the way, they are really, really good, TJ, as you know, at drafting and re-signing their own.
Yeah.
They do that a lot. But they all, I just, we don't know. All right. Clarence Hill says there was a handshake agreement back in March, and Micah says, talk to my agent. That hasn't happened yet, which makes it sound like that derailed the process. Mentioned that to Mike Florio. Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, says handshake agreements aren't worth the paper they're not written on. That was one of my favorite lines of yesterday's program. And that technically, handshake agreements that lead to deals are not, that deals need to be closed by a fully accredited member of the National Players Association list of agents. So you took it to mean when Stephen Jones said players have to want to get paid, that making less. He's saying that at this point in time, what they're offering is not something that Micah and his agent are accepting. I picked up on that they want other cards to be played. There's one last card to be played elsewhere, and that's Trey Hendrickson, who showed up in Cincinnati camp today for the first time. I don't think Hendrickson's going to bust the market to the point where Micah will have a stand to say, you know what, we handshook on, or you know what we were already talking about? Well, it's now more. I don't think Trey Hendrickson is going to be a card that Micah can, a played card in Cincinnati that Micah can put in his hand.
Not
in
the way that
Oxnard,
Myles
right?
Garrett would have been. You mean like
right.
that,
I
right?
mean, T.J. Watt was the last such card to be played that can potentially affect the hand that Micah's holding. The whole point, though, is we're getting so late. Like, the river card's on the table. You know, like it's. When's it time to show your hand? When's it time to call? When's it time to push? You know, like when is that? When is that midnight time? Last year for CD, it was right around now, or the middle of the summer, middle of August. And then for Dak, it was the night before the opener in Cleveland. And my pushback on what I just heard is, did he say that if they went a month earlier, it would be more expensive for them and potentially less responsible for their cap? And take $5 million off their cap if they did it earlier? Because it sounds to me like if you did this last year, we'd be talking about something in the mid to high 30s as opposed to something in the low to mid 40s. Mm-hmm. Like that's where the money discrepancy is.
That's what I was thinking when he said a few things. We don't drag deals out. Well, it seems to me this deal's been dragging out for the better part of 2 seasons now. They knew this day was coming. They could have handled this, right? And
or Micah, just real quick, and then you can finish. Micah might not have been ready last year, is what he's kind of saying. You know, you've got to want to get paid.
Yeah, but
putting it all together, what he's saying is that there's two in a. He does sound like his dad, you know, like there's two in a relationship here, you know what I mean? So, pardon me, go ahead.
If they put the money, if they put the number in front of him, they could have gotten the deal done. And then he's talking about the $5 million more. Aren't they costing themselves millions by waiting?
It's what it
so
sounds
what
like.
does this mean? I don't understand what this means, Rich. Help me understand, please.
At the end of the day, TJ, this is going to get done.
Yeah.
And Micah will have a press conference, and there will be something where maybe he's standing next to Jerry, and they're yucking it up. Didn't that happen with CD last year? Where they were yucking it up. CD was like, you know, hey, I'm here. And wasn't there something along the lines of like they put a certain absurd amount of money on the table? It wasn't as much as Justin Jefferson, and he basically said,
yeah, he took a little less.
let's go.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Let's go.
Which he got no credit for either.
I would love to know the numbers. It's got to be right where TJ Watt signed. It's got to be right there where Garrett is. It's got to be. The kid is just as productive. It's not even close. You know? I
think, and Chris, you and I have talked about this a lot. How much do you think it comes into play? Whereas I said to you the other day, right? The thing that comes with being a Dallas Cowboy, like Troy Aikman doesn't have his job if he was the Cleveland Browns quarterback, and Tony Romo is in his position if he was quarterback. I think
Jerry thinks that. Oh, so you're going to get more endorsement opportunities because you're with the Cowboys. So why don't you take $37 million instead of $41?
Because you're going to make up for it at some point. And
that's not the point, though. That is such a bad way to do business.
I'm saying that seems as though that is part of their thought process,
totally
right?
Think so.
Here's your answer. He's going to get signed. It will happen. He will be chasing down Jalen Hurts in the first Thursday night of the season, or attempting to.
Oh.
The number will be exactly where it's going to be market-wise, and that number will absolutely be more than what it would have been had they did it in March, or heaven forbid, come up with something during last season. Before Myles Garrett made a trade demand, it will be less than that number that it could have been. I would be stunned if he agrees to something less than market value and potentially even close to the number that it would have been cheaper had they done it earlier. I mean, it's that simple. And all of this stuff is just us trying to tap dance until the inevitable happens. And that's the whole point of it. It's just yet another guy that they could have, that everybody knew they were going to sign, from the player to the agent to the owner to the rest of the National Football League. They're not going to let him walk. I know Florio has mentioned, hey, he's under contract. They could make him play for it, and then they can franchise tag him next year. Yada, yada, yada. It makes zero sense. You know it. I know it. He's one of the best in the league. You knew it the minute you drafted him, and he started doing what he was doing. You knew it. And all the podcasting and all the other stuff, it's just part and parcel of a guy who that would be a problem for if he didn't sack the quarterback the way that he sacks him. Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. These are all truth.
Yep.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.